Do you ever have the feeling like someone is not wanting you to tell the truth? Someone is trying to get you not to tell it very simple and easy and straightforward. They want you to beat around the bush, not use people's real names, not use anything at all, and you end up telling a story that no one understands because you don't get to the point. This is called very poor script writing, and it's what you feel like when you've got an elephant in the room. That's what they call it, elephant in the room. It means there's somebody else in the room, and somebody in the room is causing everyone to squirm. Okay. So, I was doing a story, and the story is about corporate intimidation and corporate culture. In your culture at work, do you have people who tell you, don't talk to so and so in the company? And that so and so might be someone who's senior in the company. Do they tell you, you can talk about this, 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 and this, but never mention this? Do they tell you, don't go with the flow, you're going to go and follow this particular plan exactly to a T, and there's not going to be anything off of this pre-planned program? This is what I've experienced many times in companies. It's this idea that, I've got my little fiefdom in the company, and your job is to be my slave in this fiefdom, and you're not supposed to talk to anybody else about what's going on in your world because I'm your boss. So, this is the way that planet Earth runs because corporations run everything on planet Earth, and it's all about power. It's about the power and the abuse of power. Because if you were in a company and you were working for the benefit of the company, which are the shareholders, you would feel free to talk about everything. How many of you feel free to talk about everything to... You're not. You're not. You feel hamstrung, and you feel like, what's going to happen to me if I tell the truth? Are they going to fire me? Are they going to, what's going to happen to me? Am I going to get written up? Whistleblowers. This is what we see, like Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. I mean, the biggest whistleblower on the planet. And what happens to the whistleblower? Well, the American government is prosecuting him. So who's the bad guy? The American government is the bad guy because he's whistleblowing all about wrongdoings by the American government. But this is the state of the United States. I mean, if you're an American, I would say your government is failing you. Your government is not responsible to you. You're supposed to have responsible government, meaning that you're responsible to the people. They're not. They're beholden to the Illuminati, the cabal, basically big business, and that's who they listen to. But, I mean, back to my story, if people are not free to speak their truth, then you live in a web of lies. And if you're going to live in a web of lies, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse, because you start telling more lies to cover up the previous lies. Where do you want to go with this? Where are you going to stop and say, we've been lying to you for so long, now when we tell you the truth, you're going to think that we're lying? Because who's going to start telling the truth after there's been so many lies? And this is the state of our planet now. We've got liars that have been in power for so long that anybody new that comes along is going to say, well, as they always do, it wasn't me, it was them. But Everyone knows what it's like on this planet, and if you ever did get somebody to tell you the truth, Julian Assange is prosecuted for telling the truth. That's the way it is, folks. Planet Earth, it's a really big mess. Now, as for my squad, my t-shirt, you can't see it, but it says Harmony, and this is Squad. So I'm the Harmony Squad. If you're going to work in Harmony, you're going to tell the truth. And that means that there cannot be repercussions to people for telling the truth. If they're going to tell the truth and you're still going to throw the hammer at them to try and knock them out, they're never going to tell you the truth. And, if they're going to tell you the truth, what if they did something wrong? They're telling you the truth about everything wrong that they did, and maybe some of the things they did wrong were criminal. Are you still going to convict them? Well, this is the old story that you see on television. It's, the person who turns state's evidence and says, this is all of my wrongdoing, this is all the other people that were involved, and they use me to prosecute some other big fish. That's the big fish. You go after the small fish, you get them to turn, and then you go after the big fish. Well, I don't know. In the end, I think of South Africa with the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, where no one was prosecuted for apartheid. They basically came out and told the truth, and it was reconciliation. So it wasn't like you tell the truth and then you're going to go to jail or be executed. But this is the problem that you have in the minds of many people. The minds of many people are heads will roll. In other words, we're going to bring out the guillotine and we're going to execute people for what they've done. And, some crimes that people talk about, they say, well, I don't care, this kind of a crime, we have to have, the death penalty or something. So when are you ever going to get the truth? No one's ever going to tell you the truth because they don't want to face the guillotine. So, are you going to be like Jesus and forgive them? Or are you going to be the hanging judge? If you want the truth, you got to follow your heart. What does your heart tell you? Well, is Jesus a heart person or a head person? You got to figure it out. I'm Harry Weaver.